Hey everyone. Welcome to this video tutorial learning C# using Windows Forms. In this tutorial, we'll be covering the basics of C#. On the next pages I give you some more info regarding what is an array? Some differences between lists and arrays. What is an array? In C#, an array is a collection of elements of the same data type, stored in contiguous memory locations. Arrays can be used to store and manipulate data in a program. When you create an array in C#, you must specify the data type of the elements in the array and the size of the array. Once an array is created, its size cannot be changed, and you can access its elements using an index, which is an integer value that represents the position of the element in the array. In C#, there are several different types of arrays, each with its own syntax and use case. In general, single-dimensional and multidimensional arrays are the most common types of arrays in C#. However, the other types of arrays can be useful in certain situations, such as when you need to work with data that has a hierarchical structure or when you need to represent data with varying row lengths. Single-dimensional arrays. These are the most basic type of array in C#. They are used to store a collection of elements of the same data type in a single row or column. Here's an example of how to declare and initialize a single-dimensional array. Multidimensional arrays. These are used to store elements in a table-like format with two or more dimensions. Multidimensional arrays can have two or more indexes to access individual elements. Here's an example of how to declare and initialize a multidimensional array. Some differences between lists and arrays. In C#, there are several differences between lists and arrays. Here are a few key differences. Size. Arrays have a fixed size, which is determined when the array is created. Once the array is created, you cannot change its size. In contrast, lists can grow or shrink dynamically as needed. Accessing of the elements. In an array, you access elements by their index. For example, myArray0 would retrieve the first element of the array. In a list, you can access elements by their index, just like in an array, myList0, but you can also use other methods, such as myListFirst or myListLast, to retrieve the first or last element of the list. Adding and removing elements. Adding or removing elements from an array requires creating a new array with the desired size and copying the elements from the old array to the new one. In contrast, adding or removing elements from a list is a simple matter of calling the add or remove method. Type safety. Arrays are type safe, which means that you can only store elements of the same type in the array. Lists are also type safe, but they can store elements of different types if you use a generic list less than t, and specify the type of the elements. Memory allocation. Arrays are allocated on the stack or the heap, depending on their size. In contrast, lists are always allocated on the heap. Overall, lists are more flexible than arrays because they can grow or shrink dynamically and have additional methods for accessing and manipulating their elements. However, arrays have a fixed size, which can be an advantage in some cases, and they are generally faster and more memory efficient than lists. Now let's start with the video. Learn C# using Windows Forms, arrays. We will cover the following points. Example of single-dimensional arrays. Example of multi-dimensional arrays. And now enjoy the practical part of this video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment with ideas, wishes, or improvements for further content. If you like my videos, I would be happy about a like for the video. If you want to support me further and not miss any videos, just subscribe to my channel.